So today I want to talk a little bit about the COVID relief bill. And I personally think that this is probably going to be one of the most important pieces of legislation that we're going to see this year. Maybe one of the most, who knows what's going to happen throughout Biden's term. Or it could be his first term. We don't know. I'm just going to say his term for now because we don't know what's going to happen. I think this could be one of the most important pieces of legislation. And I know people have been talking about the checks a lot, but there's a lot to it. The checks only make up like a quarter of the money being put into this bill. But let's talk about the checks first. So the Democrats, since they took power, have really completely changed what's going to be what these checks are going to do. So first, they were saying, "Oh, we're going to give people $2,000." Trump gave people $600. The Democrats continued to say that they were going to give people $2,000. Now, once they're elected, they're going to give people $1,400. Okay, I kind of get it. So you said you were going to give people $2,000. Trump gave people $600, but you continue to say you were going to give people $2,000. I guess because rhetorically that would have sounded pretty bad. And it's true. I think that's part of the reason they won. They said that they were going to give people $2,000. But in my opinion, the only thing that's what would have been worse than not campaigning on giving people $2,000 is campaigning on giving people $2,000 and then not giving them $2,000 and giving them $1,400 instead. It's really bad, and this is going to be weaponized really easily. And a lot of people are pissed off, and I really don't blame them. And it's pretty sad. And you'd think, okay, that's pretty bad. Like, that's a really bad idea. But it gets worse. It gets worse, actually. And what I mean by this is the means testing they're doing now. And I know a lot of people are like, are saying that there should be no means testing at all. I personally disagree with that. I think that there is a point in income that you really don't need this money. Even, like if you're making even like $200,000 or like maybe like $150,000 in that range, like you really, I don't know, you probably don't need it. It's not that big of a deal to me. But the issue is also that this is based off of 2019 incomes, which is before the pandemic. Does that make a lot of sense? No. But I think even people, people that make a lot of money, I don't think that their incomes have really changed so much that it now places them in the low income or lower middle class or middle class area. That's just my opinion. But really, the issue here, the big issue with the Democrats is that they want to lower the eligibility for the stimulus checks for individuals from $75,000 per person for one person to $50,000. So now only people making $50,000 and under are going to be getting it. Okay, for families, it was going to be families that make a combined $150,000 and under would get it. Now they want to change it to $100,000 and under. What are you doing? Bernie Sanders, I mentioned this tweet before, but this has a lot of relevance with what I'm saying right now. He made a brilliant tweet. Went after the Democrats and said, "So you're telling me that there's going to be people that got checks from Trump but not from Biden. How will that affect the way they vote in the midterms? How will that affect in the way they vote for president?" It won't have a positive effect for Joe Biden and the Democrats. I guarantee you that. And it's really easy for the Republicans to weaponize. At least the Trump Republicans. The moderate Republicans, not moderate, but I guess establishment Republicans are fighting, are really the ones fighting for this check to be for the stimulus check to be means tested, and all this stuff, and for the whole COVID relief package to be watered down. But Trump Republicans, I guess, were technically supporting the $2,000 check and all that shit. Although that was just to screw over the establishment Republicans. But people don't really look at this stuff too comprehensively, like most people. So they're just gonna Trump Republicans are just gonna be they're gonna primary establishment Republicans, and then they're gonna go against Democrats. And oh yeah, no, they lied about the $2,000. We gave you money. We said we're gonna give. Trump wanted to give you 2,000. They took power and they didn't. That's what they're gonna do. And it really makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder how the Democratic Party is not better than this. Like, how can they not see that this is just a major strategic mistake? How can they not see that? I genuinely, like, this is the most powerful party in America right now. They have the presidency, they have the Senate, they have the House, they have the support of most people. Why do you not have a better strategy? I mean, you know, of course they have strategists and advisors and stuff like that. What are these advisors doing? I mean, to have, you know, positions in a party where you're advising, I would expect that these people would be giving good advisory. When you know, I'm sure this party has access to some of the best advisors in this country, and they could afford it too. What the fuck are they doing? What are they doing? And it really, you know, I find it hard to believe that this is just a strategic mistake, and that they genuinely are just, oh yeah, they're genuinely just think that this is the right thing to do and a strategic decision. You know, it just must be that there is corporate influence behind the Democratic Party, which there is. I think that is what's happening here. You know, bailouts for corporations are fine. Giving people 2,000 instead of 1,400 is an issue. Means testing it is fine. What are they doing here? And you think, oh, it can't get much worse than this. Bernie Sanders was basically guaranteeing that the $15 minimum wage would be in this COVID relief package. And I was really hoping, I really hope he's right. I don't think so. So Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin will not be supporting the $15 minimum wage in the package. And Kyrsten Sinema Sinema. I almost confused them for a second. But Kyrsten Sinema will not be supporting a $15 minimum wage included in the package. She thinks it should be proposed separately, and she doesn't think it should be put forward now. It shouldn't happen right now. Okay. Well, it won't be happening right now because the Senate, you're a senator, you should know this. You do know this. The Senate voted to not raise the minimum wage immediately. Well, number one, they were never going to raise it immediately, and the minimum wage that would be in this package would be implemented over 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. She wants it to be proposed separately. It's going to be Biden is saying it's most likely going to be proposed separately now. Why? You're using budget reconciliation right now. Budget reconciliation, you can only use that 3 times a year. They'll have a total of 6 of them. I mean, yeah. But before the midterms. So yeah, 6. Do this, you know, excuse me. When you use budget reconciliation, you need to make it as big as possible because you have a limited amount of them that you can use. Put the $15 minimum wage in this. This would be a good thing too. It is necessary right now. People are having trouble putting food on the table. People's wages are being cut. People are being laid off. Raise the minimum wage. It's really low-income people, too, that are getting hit the hardest by this. I know people are, oh, well, businesses won't be able to handle it. I would agree that there is some amount of short-term impact in areas where the cost of living is low. And I wish we could have a more comprehensive approach to wages. Unfortunately, we can't. Overall, I think that the $15 minimum wage would outweigh, the good in it would outweigh all of the cons, and it's been shown that over in the long term it does create more jobs because you know, it's the idea of the velocity of money, which is accepted by most established economists as being true. You know, money has more velocity with poor people. they spend more, and there's a lot more of them. So, yeah, so Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin will not be supporting the $15 minimum wage being implemented over like 5 years in this package. They're going to force them to use another budget reconciliation. So now that'll be like 2 are free for this year. Which, because we know Republicans, you're not going to get 60 votes for this. You're not going to get 10 Republicans to flip on this. No, you're lucky to even get these 2 fucking Democrats to flip on this. Who knows what they'll actually do when it does come time to, if we are voting on it again. Who knows if they'll actually come around and support it? Who knows? But yeah, no, this is just really sad for the Democratic Party. What are they doing here? I genuinely don't know. What the fuck are they doing here? Because those midterms are going to come, the elections are going to come, and they're going to feel it badly. It's going to really, really hurt. And that populist, right-wing populist rhetoric is going to be really impactful with all the stuff they're doing right now. So, Democratic Party doing some really dumb things right now. Joe Biden has been doing some good things. Some of his executive orders have been good regarding Yemen. And I guess the private prison contracts, although it's not as great as it seems. Maybe I'll cover that in a different video. But it's just really sad. Like, who's calling the shots here? What strategists and advisors are you using? Because you're making a lot of mistakes right now, and you need to fix them. So that's it for today. That's some coverage of the COVID relief package and what's been happening with that.